Tougher asylum rules in 2024. Why international students are facing new risks. Welcome back to Canada Chronicles. Today, we're diving into a topic that has many international students worried: the tougher asylum rules of 2024. These changes are creating serious challenges for students who may be thinking about seeking asylum. Whether you're currently studying in Canada or planning to, this is something you don't want to miss. We'll look into the reasons behind these changes, explore recent statements by key figures like Marc Miller, and examine how all of this could impact your future. Stay tuned because toward the end, we'll dive into the key risks international students face in 2024, including what happens if your visa expires or your asylum claim is denied. Trust me, these are crucial insights that could help you plan ahead. If you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you stay up to date. Let's jump right in. The surge in international students seeking asylum. Over the past few years, we've seen a noticeable increase in international students applying for asylum. Why? There are a few main reasons. Political and social instability. Students from countries like Iran, Afghanistan, and Sudan face conflict, authoritarian regimes, or severe social unrest. For these students, returning home might not be a safe option. Fear of persecution. For some, the threat of being persecuted due to their religion, gender identity, or political beliefs is a strong motivation to apply for asylum. They feel that going home would put their lives in jeopardy. Economic challenges. The global economy, already hit hard by the pandemic, leaves many international students with dim job prospects back home. In this case, asylum may seem like the only path to a stable life in the host country. This growing number of asylum applications hasn't gone unnoticed. Immigration authorities, especially in Canada, are tightening the rules, leading to a more uncertain future for these students. Marc Miller's recent statement. International students under the microscope. In September 2024, Canada's Immigration Minister, Marc Miller, raised alarms over this increasing trend. He specifically called it an alarming trend, pointing out that some students are using the asylum system as a backdoor entry into Canada. According to Miller, some students apply for asylum not because they are in immediate danger but to reduce their tuition fees to domestic rates or to stay in the country after their visa expires. Miller urged universities to strengthen their screening processes and hinted at potential reforms to prevent this opportunism. He emphasized that students applying for asylum must now demonstrate a clear and credible risk of persecution. These concerns have gained urgency due to recent high-profile security incidents. For example, one case involved Mohammed Shah Azeb Khan, a student visa holder accused of plotting a terrorist attack. This case sparked even more scrutiny over the asylum process and student visas. Stricter asylum rules across key countries. It's not just Canada that's tightening the rules. Let's take a look at the broader international landscape. Canada. Canada's asylum system is undergoing reforms to address what authorities describe as the misuse of international student visas for asylum claims. The new measures include increased asylum scrutiny. Canada is closely examining the motivations behind asylum claims, particularly from international students who apply shortly after completing their studies. Marc Miller emphasized that students must now demonstrate a clear and credible risk of persecution to be considered for asylum. Deportations and reduced appeal options. Students whose asylum claims are denied are now facing faster deportation processes, with limited opportunities for appeal. This has created a high-stakes environment where rejected claims could lead to swift removal from the country. Lower study permit caps. In addition to the asylum rules, the Canadian government announced a reduction in the number of international student permits issued, lowering them by 10% in 2025 to help address immigration backlogs and housing shortages. Increased screening for student visa applicants. In response to the rising concerns over international students misusing asylum claims, Canada has also ramped up its pre-entry screening processes. Immigration Minister Marc Miller emphasized that preventing fraudulent visa applications from the outset is a critical part of the reforms. Students applying for study permits now face stricter background checks, including financial assessments to ensure they can support themselves during their studies. This is designed to prevent students from arriving in Canada with the intention of seeking asylum due to financial constraints rather than legitimate fears of persecution. Universities and colleges are also being urged to play a more active role in screening applicants, ensuring they meet the necessary criteria to study and live in Canada legally and independently. The United States. In the U.S., the situation is similar, with asylum policies becoming stricter. Safe third country agreements. New rules require that asylum seekers apply for protection in the first safe country they pass through. This affects international students who may have traveled through multiple countries before arriving in the U.S. More difficult approval process. Asylum claims from students are facing increased scrutiny, particularly in cases where their student visa has expired. The United Kingdom. The UK is also introducing harsher measures for students seeking asylum. Fewer visa extensions. The UK has limited the ability for students to extend their visas post-graduation unless they can provide clear evidence of danger in their home country. Asylum work restrictions. International students applying for asylum are seeing more limitations on their ability to work while their cases are pending, leaving many financially strained. Impact on international students. The changes in asylum rules have profound implications for international students. While education abroad has traditionally been seen as a stepping stone to long-term residency, the tightening of asylum rules is creating new risks for those who seek to stay after their studies. Legal uncertainty. Once an international student's visa expires, they may find themselves in legal limbo. If their asylum claim is denied, they face the prospect of deportation with limited options to appeal the decision. Financial strain. Asylum seekers often face restrictions on their ability to work while their claims are being processed. Coupled with the high legal costs of filing asylum applications, this can put significant financial pressure on students who are already burdened with educational debt. Emotional and psychological strain. Beyond the financial and legal struggles, the emotional toll of navigating uncertain immigration processes is often overlooked. Many international students report feeling heightened anxiety and stress as they face the possibility of deportation or visa expiration. The pressure of maintaining legal status while balancing academic performance creates a challenging environment for mental health. Support systems, such as counseling services offered by universities, are critical, but many students find these resources insufficient for coping with the fear of being sent back to potentially unsafe or unstable home countries. This constant emotional strain can lead to burnout, depression, and feelings of isolation, compounding the already difficult experience of living abroad. Mental health. The prolonged uncertainty surrounding asylum claims can severely impact students' mental health. Many face isolation, anxiety, and fear of deportation back to potentially dangerous situations. Why are these changes happening? There are three main drivers behind these policy shifts. 1. Security concerns. Recent terrorist plots involving international students have prompted governments to tighten the screening processes for student visas and asylum claims. 2. Public pressure. Governments are responding to public concerns about immigration policies, especially with the perception that some asylum seekers are exploiting the system for economic reasons. 3. Resource strain. The increasing number of international students and asylum seekers has put a strain on public resources like housing and healthcare. Countries are trying to limit the number of new entrants to ease these pressures. Key risks for international students in 2024. Thanks for staying with us this far. Now, let's dig into the key risks that international students face under these new rules. Visa expiration and deportation. One of the biggest risks is visa expiration. With fewer legal pathways to stay, students who turn to asylum as a last resort may find their claims denied and face deportation. Permanent bans. Students who are deported after a failed asylum claim could face long-term bans on re-entry, closing doors to future education and job opportunities. Fraud investigations. Governments are cracking down on fraudulent asylum claims. International students who make claims without legitimate grounds could face criminal charges or investigations, further complicating their status. Solutions for international students in 2024. While the situation is tough, there are steps students can take to navigate these challenges. 1. Seek legal counsel early. It's essential for students to consult with immigration lawyers before their visas expire. Legal experts can guide students on whether asylum is a viable option or if alternative visa pathways are available. 2. Strengthen asylum applications. For students with a credible fear of persecution, gathering robust evidence, such as official documents, media reports, or witness statements, can strengthen their case. 3. Mental health support. Given the mental health toll, students should seek support from university counseling services or local organizations that specialize in assisting asylum seekers. As we've discussed today, international students are facing a dramatically shifting landscape in 2024. Stricter asylum rules, increased scrutiny, and fewer opportunities for appeal mean that students must be more proactive than ever to navigate these challenges. The risks are significant, but with careful planning, such as seeking legal advice early and building a strong asylum case, students can still find their way through this complex system. Thank you for watching this episode of Canada Chronicles. If you found this information useful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to share it with anyone who might benefit. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're always up to date with the latest immigration news. There's plenty more to cover in future episodes, and we'll be here to guide you every step of the way. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.